Okay, guys, so we're going to take a look at the low bar back squat setup and execution now. With the low bar back squat, it's going to be more hip dominant. It's going to place a lot less stress on the knees. So if that upright high bar position causes you pain in the knee towards the bottom position, low bar might be a great alternative for you. And when we set up in this position, we want this J cup to be a little bit lower than the high bar, because the bar is going to be placed a little bit lower on our back, and we don't want to have to tippy toe in and out of the rack. That's the worst. So a little bit lower on the deltoid, maybe another, I just go one hole here lower for my low bar than I do for my high bar. Now your hand width is going to be really dependent on you. A lot of the power lifters that you see out there, big strong guys, that squat a lot of weight like this, they go really wide. Commonly because they don't have the mobility to come in narrow. What's important is that we make a shelf out of your traps for this bar to sit on. Now, we're going to want this bar to sit 2 to 3 inches lower on your back than the high bar back squat. So we still want to pinch your shoulder blades together, create a shelf, but instead of being up here, we're going to put it down. We still don't want it to drop down below your acromion here, which is that bone in your back. So you can use a normal width grip on the bar as long as you have adequate mobility, so you're not causing any weird pinching pain in the shoulders and or elbows / wrists. Speaking of wrists, when you grab this bar, we want to keep your wrist nice and straight. And I prefer to have my thumb over the bar when I low bar back squat. That's a preference. Helps me keep my wrist in a nice, good position. We don't want to be breaking and having your wrist like this, right? We want to be nice and straight so we can squeeze that bar into your back and not be broken. So we get in a good position here. Squat underneath the bar. Now high bar would go here, so I'm going to go a couple inches lower. So now I'm kind of resting on my deltoids there, my posterior deltoids. Step back. And now most people like to go a little bit wider with their stance than a high bar back squat. That makes it a little bit easier to get down, and also allows you to use your hip adductors, your adductors, as hip extensors. So same thing here, we're going to squeeze your butt, bring that rib cage down, go through our bracing sequence, inhale, exhale, squeeze your abs, breathe in again, and now we're going to drop that butt back, and we're going to keep driving that butt back as we bend our knees and allow our chest to drop a little bit lower. Now my knees don't go nearly as far over my toes, but I can still hit this full depth squat. And then we're going to drive your heels into the ground, squeeze your butt to stand up, and then forcefully exhale as you come up as well. So I'm actually going to go a little bit wider, because I think it'd be a little bit more comfortable for me. So again, we're going to use our rooting as well. So we're going to excellently rotate the hip. Inhale, exhale, squeeze our belly. Inhale again, drive the butt back, let that chest drop forward in response. Come all the way down, nice and controlled. Hit that bottom position, drive up, and squeeze the butt. Make sure you're doing a forceful exhale on the way up. Now the difference here is if I put my hands underneath here and I start doing this, that's a lot of pressure on my wrists. We don't want that. We want to make sure that we're squeezing the bar between your arms and your shoulders. Step back in, drop it back down. If you're getting some kind of weird elbow pain, wrist pain, make sure that that wrist is straight and you're not dropping the elbow really far forward or excessively up, and just find that nice neutral position. So like this video for us, guys. Comment with how it went for you. Tag all your friends that need to see this. Share it, and we'll see you next time.